morning, my friends. How are you today on this beautiful Sunday morning? If you're new, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back to Hills Presbyterian Sunday School. We're still online, but that's okay because we can be together. I'm in my home. I'm not at church right now because that's what works for me today. I bet some of you are maybe sitting in your dens, maybe eating your cereal, maybe sitting in the car. You might be at a park. You might be at the beach. That's what's neat about being online. You can watch Sunday school from anywhere, which is really cool. And soon we'll get back to where we're in our classrooms together, but not just quite yet. And it's summer. I believe all of you are done with school right now. But what does that mean? What does that mean having summer right now when we've been having the COVID, which is kind of like a bad flu, can be a bad flu. And we've all had to be home with our moms and dads being our teachers and not being able to go places and see all of our friends all the time. Well, summer means being able to hopefully not have any homework, maybe doing a little bit of reading and maybe a little bit of math, just a little bit so that we don't forget. We don't want to forget because then we have to relearn it again. You don't want to do that. But summer is hot. Are any of you experiencing it being hot? It's starting to get hot by my house. I have to walk the dog kind of early because if it gets too hot, he gets too hot. And I get too hot. The sun's out and it gets very hot. So swimming. Now, a lot of us used to take a lot of vacations, and we still can take some vacations. We just can't go as far. Probably not any of us getting on an airplane. Maybe just going camping, which is always fun. I love to camp. Maybe just going to the beach for a couple days, but that's okay because right now we want to work together with everybody and try and keep all of us well and keep all of our friends well and our grandparents well because they can get really sick. The older they are, sometimes they just get sick. So it may not be the summer we were looking forward to or had in the past. That doesn't mean it can't be fun. That doesn't mean we can't learn new things, try new things. I'm going to show you how to make 2 games, which is fun. You may have or may not have played before. We've been doing science projects that I hope you're trying at home. We did an art project last week. So I hope that you're trying these new things at home that may be new for you. Some of them are new for me. The games I'm going to show you today I've played, but I've never made them. So we're going to make them today and just kind of makes it a little more special because you can make it look the way you want to. And I get to do the story this week. I am very excited. You've been learning about Job. And poor Job's had it rough. So we're going to learn more about Job when I come back with this story. So for right now, we're going to calm ourselves. We're going to fold our hands and close our eyes. We're going to say, Dear Jesus, I just hope that you open my ears and my heart to hear this story about Job and to learn more about him that teaches me more about me and how I can be a really good Christian. Thank you, dear Lord, for today. Thank you that we can have Sunday school online. I just thank you for everything. In Jesus' name, pray, amen. So I hope you'll be good listeners for me today because I want to tell you more about Job and just the kind of man he was. Hi, I'm back and I'm here to tell you more about Job. But I thought I'd kind of go back. Let's kind of hit the highlights of the story so we don't forget as we go week to week of what's happening with Job. Now, Job is spelled the same way as if we spelled job. So J-O-B and J-O-B. So his name is pronounced Job. Now there was a man named Job. He was a truly good man, inside and out. He was honest and he loved God more than anything. He had a very large family and many, many other things. So if you remember, he had sons, daughters, he had all kinds of animals, a big house. So Job had a lot of things. One day, God and Satan were talking. And I'm sure that was an interesting conversation because God is very, very good, all good. Satan, we know, is not good. They were talking, and they were talking about this man, Job, that God said was faithful no matter what. He loved God, and he taught his family about God and to love God. Satan said the only reason Job was good was because his life was good. He only loved God because he had everything. Do you think that's true? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't have everything in the world, and I love him with all my heart. So I don't think that was true. And God said, absolutely not. That's not true. So Satan said, I'll prove it to you. Can I prove it to you by doing whatever I want to Job? And God said, as long as you don't touch him, yes, because I know this man is faithful. But Job was faithful. First, he took his animals. He took his animals. And then he took his children. And if you remember, Job hurt. His heart hurt. His body hurt. He tore his clothing and shaved his head with hurt. His friends came to sit with him for a very long time, but they said nothing because they didn't know what to say. They didn't know how to make him feel better. But they tried. Job had so much on his mind as he thought about everything that had happened to him. He talked to his friends. He talked to God. His friends offered advice over and over again. But Job wished they would just be quiet. Sometimes when you're mad or sad, sometimes you just want everybody to be quiet just for a little while so you can think about everything that's happening. And then you want to talk to people. Well, Job tried to figure everything out. He wondered out loud why life was so full of trouble. He wondered why life was so short. He wondered why good things never seem to last. They just go away, all the good things. This was Job was thinking and talking to himself about. He felt like a wispy cloud, a little cloud, blowing around in the wind for a moment and then gone. Yes, Job had a lot on his mind. He was so sad and confused and angry. But the amazing thing is that he still had hope. He still had hope that things would be okay. They may not be okay today, but he had hope that tomorrow would be better. He didn't understand why things were happening the way it does, but he still had a tiny green buds of hope growing inside him. Even though everything around him felt awful, he trusted that God was on his side. Job dreamt about the light. Remember the light at the end of the tunnel. The light that was God. And someday he would enjoy it again. Here's the new part of the story. Job thought over and over about what he did to deserve such bad things to happen to him. What did I do? Was I not good enough? Did I not treat my family good enough? Did I not treat my animals good enough? He thought back over his whole life, and he knew he had always worked hard to be honest, truthful, and good. To him, his record was simply spotless. He had done nothing wrong. Finally, he dared anyone, even God, to point the finger at him and tell him something he had done wrong. He wanted God to tell him why he deserved to lose everything. Then this wild storm whipped up. Have you ever had the winds blowing really hard, or really hard rain, and lots of clouds coming in? Well, this came all around Job. God spoke to Job in that storm. It was time for God to set Job straight, to tell him the truth, to tell him what he thought, what God knows. God's love for Job was strong, very strong. But Job needed to remember who was in charge. Human beings did not make this earth. Who did? No human being knows better than God. Not one, not even Job. God knows best. We may not feel that way all the time, but through your hope and your prayer, you will know God knows best. We won't always understand things that happened, but we can trust God is on our side. In the end, we'll be okay. So God reminded Job, he made all of this, and that Job was terribly sad. And God knew that. God was there for him. But he also wanted to remind Job that yelling at God, yelling at everyone, trying to tell God that he better, tell me what I did wrong, that's not how it works. God gave us this hope, this light at the end of the tunnel, so that we have all that hope in us that things will be better tomorrow. And we pray and we talk to God for that hope, for that light at the end of the tunnel. Job was a good man, but he probably did a few things wrong, but he wasn't being punished. These are just things that happen in our lives. And through God, we have hope that it will all be better. Okay, when I come back, we're going to learn how to make some new games that you've probably played, but we're going to make them fun to make. I'm back. Wasn't that a great story about Job? that through all he's going through, he still has that faith, love, and hope light at the end of the tunnel for God. And that's just wonderful. And next week, we will learn more about Job. For right now, we're going to make a couple games. It's summertime. Games are always fun. You know, we like to go outside and play in the water and take walks, ride our bikes, play games outside. But kind of in the afternoon, it gets a little hot, so it's kind of fun to play games inside. Now, have any of you ever played tic-tac-toe? Easy game. You use X's and O's, and you try and get them in a straight line. So today, I think we're going to do it with potatoes. And you're going to need your moms and dads to help do this. But I'm going to take a knife and cut a potato in half. Just like that. I'm going to kind of dab it off, get all the water, because if you've ever cut a potato, it's kind of wet. And I'm going to make my X's and my O's with the potato. So I am just going to kind of cut this out. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to make my X first, which is kind of fun. I kind of am, just kind of, I'll show you when I get my lines drawn, and then we'll cut it out. You can see my little X's and O's on there a little bit. And then we're going to cut that a little bit out because we're going to use paint on the part that stands up. So you got to make sure you cut it really good. Like I said, this is something that moms and dads are probably going to have to help you with, but it's really fun. When I was a kid, we'd make all kinds of designs with potatoes. And that way you can kind of make it, or you really can make it the way you want it, the way you want it to look, which is kind of fun because you can buy stamps at the store, which are fun too, but it's not the way you made it. So this is the old-fashioned way, I guess. And see, it looks like an X or a cross. So with our game, we need X's. And with the other side of my potato, I am going to make O. And I'm just going to kind of try and make a little bit of a circle. It's probably not going to come out exactly like a circle, but I'm going to try. Let's see. To cut the middle out a little bit. We'll cut it out, and then I can make it a little bit better of a circle. So it looks like an O a little better. But then that's kind of the fun of it too, is it won't be a complete perfect circle. So you could even make it a square instead of a circle. So I'm just going to kind of cut that out a little bit. You know, just a little bit. My edges aren't perfect, but that's okay. You could probably do a scoop with that. And then we wouldn't be using a sharp knife, which is good. We don't want anybody to get cut. And you can probably see I have a tablecloth down, so I'm not getting anything on no paint or potato on my table. So see, you can kind of see I cut the middle out. So I've got those. And I thought I'd make the first game on a yellow sheet of paper. Hopefully you've got some different papers at home. So I do have a cutting board here, and I think I'm going to move that over. And tic-tac-toe, you just need 2 lines down and 2 lines across. So I've got my gold pen, and I'm just going to kind of just draw it. It's, you know, you can draw it this way, or you can get really creative with a measuring stick and use it that way. So I've just got my X's and my O's. And what you're trying, or my board, not my X's and my O's, but what you're trying to do is get 3 in a row like this. And it sounds pretty easy, but what happens if you don't get 3 in a row, neither one of you, because there'll be 2 of you playing, it's called a cat's game. And I think when I've played as a kid and as an adult, there's a lot more cat's games. So you gotta be really tricky when you're doing this. So I think I'm gonna use my purple paint, and I'm just going to put a little bit of purple paint on here. Not a whole lot, just a little bit, because I just want to dip my my X in there, and I don't want a lot of paint on there, just enough on there that you can see it's an X. So I'm going to get a little bit in there, and I'll show you guys. So you've got your X like that, and then I think I'll use a little bit of the green for my O's. So I'm going to put a little bit down here for my O's. There we go. And I'm going to just dip my same thing. I don't want a lot of paint on there, but I want enough where you can tell I'm doing an X and an O. So here we go. And so I've got my paint on my O. So whoever's first, and I'm going to make an O right there. So you can see my O. And now whoever I'd be playing with is probably going to try and block me, but which way am I going to go? So X, I think this time we're just going to put up here, so we can't go across. So he blocked me that way. So I gotta think about this. Do I want to go down? Well, I guess I have to go down now. Okay, so let's see if I can do this. We're going to go in the middle again. But I think, where do you think my X is going to go? Where do you think that person's going to go? Maybe at the bottom and block me? Probably. Now, I can go this way, but I can go this way too. So, sometimes if we're not paying a lot of attention, we might be able to win. So I'm going to make my green, my little O, I'm going to put it towards the bottom and hope that my person playing against me doesn't see what I'm doing. Okay, a little more paint. And let's see. See, this might work. Now, if I put an O right there, I have 3 in a row. It's my turn. So let's see. Right. There we go. I've got 3 in a row, and then you can take your pen or even your potatoes and draw a line. Just like that. So it's a lot of fun, and you can cut your potatoes to be anything. They don't have to be X's and O's. Like I said, you can make a square, you can make a triangle, have your parents help you. They can give you a spoon to scoop. So it makes a lot of fun. I'll be right back with another game.
1, 2, 3. From my heart, with all my soul, from my mind, with all my strength. 1, 2, 3. Ah!
Father Abraham had many sons, and many floor. Whoa! Okay, and then when I count to 3, we're gonna jump up all together as high as you can. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3.
With all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, with all my strength, with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, with all my strength. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. Oh yeah. I will love you, Lord, with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, and with all my B-I-B-L-E, yes, that's the book for me. I stand alone on the Word of God, the B-I-B-L-E. The B-I-B-L-E, yes, that's the book for me. I stand alone on the Word of God, the B-I-B-L-E. Give me a B. Give me an I. Give me a B. Give me an L-E. The B-I-B-L-E, yes, that's the book for me. I stand alone on the Word of God, the B-I-B-L-E. The B-I-B-L-E, yes, that's the book for me. I stand alone on the Word of God, the B-I-B-L-E. I stand alone on the Word of God, the B-I-B-L-E.
Okay, I'm back with our next game. That was fun. You can decorate however you want. You can play over and over again, so that's fun. This time, I thought I'd make like a game board. And you can make it bigger or smaller, but I cut a potato in squares, so those are the spaces you can land on. And I did some of the purple X's for decoration. I called it my summer games. And I have a start, and it'll say go back 1 space if you land on there, and go back or go forward 2 spaces. And this one's another go back, and then we have the finish line. So I have to get my dice. So I'm going to get my dice out of here. I keep all my games right here because we love to play games. So you can hear that I've got lots of dice there, but we're just going to use one. I think you just need one unless you make a really big game, which could be fun. I've made really big games and used all kinds of things that you have to do along the way. Like when you play board games, if you've ever played the game of life, or all kinds of different games that use a dice, and you have fun, you roll it, it tells you what to do. You can go forward or backwards or buy something like Monopoly. So that's always fun. Things you can do. So I have my dice here for the game. But what I was going to show you is I found in my cupboard some little tiny cookie cutters. And you kind of press them in to your potato. And I'm using little potatoes today. So I already did a star, but I was just going to show you that when it's cut in, and with your moms and dads, you can't use a knife without them. You kind of cut in. They can cut in for you. and then you just kind of peel it off. And this is a snowman I found. I should have to cut a little bit better because I found all my Christmas cookie cutters. I have other ones, but this is what I found, and you might have some. And you just kind of push it in there and then cut away because he has a little bit of a hat. So when I pull it off, I have a snowman. And these are going to be my two players. So I've got a snowman and I have a star. Now, I already have color on there, so I'm going to have to put more color on these so that I can stamp it if I want to do it that way. So you can either use the potatoes just to make a fun board, or you can use them, like I'm thinking, let's see, where did I put my dice? Right here, and I'm going to roll it. Let's see, oh, here it is. Okay, I'm going to roll it, and I got a 2. So I think I'm going to take my snowman, and he's going to be in dark blue this time. So I'm going to put him in dark blue and kind of rub it around a little bit, get it a little on his hat so you guys can see that. And I'm going to go, I've got my start, so 1, 2. Oh, I missed the go back 1 space. I'm going to put my little snowman kind of on the side just in case the star gets the same thing, and you can do it that way. Or like I said, you can use these just for art projects. You can make a board like this, and then you can write on things, you know, how you want to be. You can make your board, I've made them really big, so they're double the size, so you have a lot more adventure while you're playing your game, which is so fun. Like a Monopoly, you buy things, so that could be fun. You can make your own money. So these are really fun things that take time because you really want to think about it. I didn't spend a lot of time on this one, but if I did, the last game I made for kids at church, it took me a long time. I spent a long time thinking about what the space should say, how many spaces we should have, how they should go around. Like I have this one kind of going this way, but on a big piece of paper, I could do it all over the place, which is a lot of fun. So I hope this gives you 2 games you can play, but the fun part is you can make them and make them your own. You can name it your own name. I could have made them Miss Kathy's game or Bucky's game after my puppy dog. So I think this is something that you guys can do, and have your moms and dads cut things out, help you cut them out. I did find in my closet some for Halloween that you use to cut pumpkins that makes it a little safer so you don't cut your fingers. So this might be something your moms and dads have too. You got to have some first so that we can do this, but this is just a fun thing. Another way you can do a small game really quick, or you can make it last for days and really take your time and figure out how you want your game to be. So it is the end of our Sunday school, but I have had a really good time learning about Job, putting our games together, which is so fun that I get to be with you on Sunday. And that I hope you go out this week and you just have a fabulous week, fun summer, and remember the story about Job. Remember that sometimes things are bad. Sometimes things happen, but we have hope through God for that light at the end of the tunnel. So I am going to have us quiet, fold our hands, close our eyes. Dear Lord, thank you. Thank you that we can learn about the hope through you. That no matter what is happening in our lives, we always have hope through you, and you are the light at the end of our tunnel. I pray that these children go out this week, they have a safe and fun summer, all through you. In Jesus' name, amen. What is the one thing at the end I always want you to do? I want you to say thank you, Mom and Dad, for everything they do for you, from maybe the simplest things as cooking you dinner, or more, that they teach you about Jesus and that they've been your teachers for school, maybe even your dance teachers, but that they're for you because they love you. So remember to say thank you.